Hi. Alright, so I wanted to make a video about the fiber content of textiles. Back in the summer, I recorded a video where I discussed how a certain type of fabric, in that case it was linen, caused the dye from some flower petals to turn a different color than cotton fabric. So basically, it's just important to understand that the various fibers can have a different effect on your color, the color of the dye that you produce. And I made that video. I just need to edit it. It's about 2 months old, and I may add it into this video at the end once I discuss what I'm going to discuss today. So basically, what you see here is green dye made from Naupaka leaves. Naupaka leaves are very common here in Hawaii. I get pieces from the park near our home every now and then when we go there. And I just opened up one of these little pods right here, and I got this seed out. And my plan has been for a while now to plant some and grow some at home. So I think I'm going to finally go ahead and do that this time around. But the purpose of this video is to show you or discuss just how different the dye will take to the materials depending on the fiber content. I only use natural fiber content, natural fiber textiles, which is really the only ones that'll work with natural dyes like this that I make. I mostly use cotton. Every now and then I get a cotton linen blend. But for about 2 months straight, my Naupaka dye wasn't working on my fabrics. Most of the fabrics that I use are repurposed. They're like old sheets and things like that I get from thrift stores. And for some reason it wasn't working, even though the tags on the sheets were saying that the sheets were 100% cotton. I don't believe that to be true though, because this dye was just not taking to those fabrics. Like for over a month, about 2 months, my green dye was not working. But finally here we are, and I was about to give up on Naupaka. I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna have to find another source of green dye. But these leaves are so common here and so readily available that this is like the easiest for that color. And I actually love the color that's produced from the Naupaka leaves. So I have 3 different containers here where I've put some Naupaka dye to experiment with some fabric. I've done some shibori. I got some fabric folded up here. Put this in yesterday on Wednesday. Today's Thursday. And as you can see, it's doing really well. Now, in the past, when I was having issues, when I first started using Naupaka, it worked beautifully. It was just like these. The dye adhered to the fabrics, and everything went well. I did mordant on these, just like I did on the ones over the summer that were not working. So the conclusion I came to is that those fabrics that I was using just were not 100% cotton, even though the tags said that they were. These right here, this is also from an old sheet, and it works. It's working pretty good. So that lets me know. Now I got this one in here. It's working. It's not as intense as the one right here, but it's a light green color, and that's good. And it may not be as intense just because I haven't had it directly in the sun like I've had this one for the amount of time that I've had these in the sun. And then I have this one in the jar. This is another shibori fold that I did. And as you can see, it's pretty good. All of these fabrics started off like super white. So this one's doing pretty good as well. And again, this one was just in the sun more. It's not covered like these, so you can see where it has some darker spots, where it's been exposed more intensely to the sun with no top on it. So, you know, I'm happy that my fabrics are working again with the Naupaka, because I love dyeing with Naupaka. I was just really discouraged for a couple months because for some reason it wasn't working, and now I am leaning toward the conclusion that it was because the fabrics were in fact not 100% cotton. So that's something to be aware of, is that the fiber contents will affect your the ways that the dye adhere to the fabric. Anybody who dyes with natural plant materials will probably tell you that you're going to have to be using natural fiber textiles like cotton, silk, if you're going to do animal protein fibers, silk, wool, you know, things like that, cotton, linen, even hemp. You can do hemp. So yeah, that was mainly what I wanted to discuss. Is just be aware of that. Like even though some of those tags might say 100% cotton or something, there might be a little bit of something in there that's causing them not to adhere. I don't have a sample. I wish I had a sample of one that didn't work. Like there were times when I would dye a fabric over and over and over again, and it would still barely have any dye on it. And those are the ones that I think maybe had like polyester mixed in, but the tag didn't specify that. Now this is a piece that I dyed months ago. This was an old sheet also, and it worked pretty well. So yeah, this was an old sheet and it worked really well. So I'm convinced this one was 100% cotton. But all of the ones that didn't work out so well, I ended up just dyeing them with something else, like Olena, which is turmeric, or ginger leaves, which is another plant that I use pretty commonly. So I don't have a sample. But yeah, just suffice it to say that the dye just was not working with those materials. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that it's working now because I really enjoy this green is actually my favorite color, and this tone of green is my favorite as well. And as I mentioned, after this video, I'll probably add in the other videos so you can see the other experiment I did where the fiber content of the fabric turned the dye a completely different color. And that's something to be aware of also when you are dyeing fabrics naturally. Okay, thanks for watching.